Sinisterism is about finding the primal aspects of the left-hand path, primal in history, primal in the psyche, thus obtaining truth. Thomas Leroy.
Greetings, my friends, and welcome back to your dose of sinister heathenry. But for those new to the channel, I'm Thomas Leroy, founder of the International Left-Hand Path organization, the Sect of the Horn God. The Sect is an educational foundation created to not only make those with the black flame aware of its glow, but to also restore the shadow aspects to the ancient gods by going deep into the past, not only historically, but also psychologically. For the primordial depths of the psyche are limitless. So, if this sounds interesting, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to learn more, join the organization, the Sect of the Horn God, at the link down below. Thank you. So I'm gonna preface this video by stating that something happened last Tuesday. Wonder what that was. Oh yeah, it was November 5th. It was something called an election here in the United States. And I noticed quite a few people are having, let's say, meltdowns, fits, so on and so forth. My advice to you, especially to you that are on this path, just take a deep breath, relax. Everything will be okay. All right? Because in truth, the presidency, that position, was never meant to be as important as it has become, unfortunately. A president should be more like, let's say, a ref in a boxing match. All right, the most important person in the ring should not be the ref. All right, so I refuse to get overly worked up over who is president. All right, you know what's more important? Who is your mayor? Who is your governor? Who is in charge of your, if you have kids in school, who's in charge of the school board, who are the local supervisors, so on and so forth, because they're going to have more of a direct effect upon your life. All right? The Orange Man is the chief of the executive branch of the United States. Okay? I doubt if you're a member of the executive branch. Like I said, take a deep breath. Do some yoga. Jog. Relax. Okay, enough of that shit. Now, recently on one of my videos, I got this question. Why don't you interact more with the people who post comments in your channel? And my response to that is, I have well over 500 videos, 550 some videos. It's kind of hard to interact with all the comments because people still comment even on my old shit. All right, I'm a busy man. But because she wrote this, seeker chick, I will respond to a few of the comments. All right, so I picked out a few that I thought were interesting. All right, so how about this one? Why is the primal truth? The primal is base, like source code. There is more to a man than primal, like there's more to a computer than its source code. limiting oneself to the primal seems like volunteering to be fed half-truths. I get your point, okay? But what I am getting at when I say primal is getting to the fundamental truth of it all. Now, can we ever find out what that fundamental truth was? I don't know, but we can attempt to do so by finding the commonalities within the different aspects of occultism and specifically the left-hand path. Also, my point is, and I've made this point before, this comparison, it's like the game telephone that you played when you were a kid. All right, you start with that first person and they come up with, I don't know, a word, a saying, whatever. And then it goes, it's whispered into the ear to the next kid and then the next, and so on. And they keep whispering it all the way down to, let's say you have a dozen kids. And they might say that first line might be, I don't know, I like hamsters. And by the time it gets to the end, it's Godzilla is a monster. See, the way I see it is I want to go back as far as I can to that first child and ask that child, what did you say? Speaking metaphorically, if you will. So basically, that's what I'm getting at when I say get to the primal, get to the source. All right, what is next? This video is very informative. Being with this group for about a year or so, I struggled to find my practice as a dark pagan. Can you or have you done videos on a practice to follow, rituals, etc.? Yes, I have, actually. I have done videos. But the main thing is to, like I had mentioned in the last, as answering the last question or comment, getting to the primal. And how you can do that is by observing, learning ways of, let's say, shamanism. But don't call yourself a shaman, all right? Because you won't be a shaman. But look at the techniques of these, what are referred to as the primitive cultures, which I like to call the elder cultures. Those people still in touch with the basics of it all. Observe them. There's plenty of videos. And make sure you get the good stuff, the original stuff, not the blonde-haired, blue-eyed housewife from, I don't know, Wyoming, who thinks she's a shaman because of videos she watched. Go to the source as much as possible. Find out. There's plenty of books, too, on the true primal, let's say, shamanism. And then from there, create your own. You can mix in, let's say, elements of Satanism, Luciferianism, even aspects of the Eastern left-hand path. And create your own rituals. Do your own thing, but do not call yourself a shaman, all right? Just as it's good to train as an MMA fighter, but unless you go into the octagon and start kicking some ass, you're not an MMA fighter, all right? Okay, the next question. Due to modernity, there has never been a time in history when humans have enjoyed more rights and freedom. Okay, this person has a point. However, absolute freedom, like you mentioned, is not possible for a social animal like humans. Some form of altruism must exist. I think what he's getting at is that you need to have some connection to other human beings. You can't be completely autonomous. What I'm getting at when I say freedom, ultimate freedom, everyone wants, every true thinking, independent individual wants liberty as much as possible. But what I'm talking about is true freedom is the freedom within the heart and the soul of the individual. This freedom transcends what happens within this realm we call reality, even. What happens here on this ephemeral level of existence. I'm talking about being so free within the heart and soul that you can even be locked up and still be free. It's a deep Nietzschean idea or ideal. That's what I mean by freedom. And that's what you can achieve by being on this path. Okay, what do we have here? Oh, Shiva is Satan and is also Jehovah? David, I'm confused by this. No, Shiva is not Satan, and no, Shiva is not Jehovah. It's as simple as that. All right. You quote yourself? How can I not? I mean, I come up with the best quotes ever. This is a very mature perspective. I don't expect a quarter of the Left-Hand Path community to adopt it. Very good point. I like that point very much. I agree with it wholeheartedly. Yeah, I doubt if even a quarter of the Left-Hand Path community will adopt the basic philosophy that I lay down. That is the philosophy of sinisterism. And I'm not the only one who preaches, let's say, for lack of a better word, sinisterism. There are many others that do it also. So yeah, hopefully it's a mature perspective. Sometimes, you know, we can get a little silly for the fun of it all, but yeah, I try to be deeper than, let's say, the simple Hail Satan types. Okay, and what is next? Oh, here we go. I say this respectfully as a friend. Well, thank you for being respectful. Stop being so condescending. You are exposing your weakness, namely your lack of faith in your fellow walkers of the left-hand path. They must be allowed the freedom to make their own mistakes and learn their own hard lessons. Otherwise, they become mere sheep to a darker shepherd, and therefore no better than the very evangelicals you look down upon. Let them find their own way. All right, part of the reasons why the Sect of the Horn God was formed is I was late to get online and enter, let's say, what you could call the satanic cyber world. And when I did, I was very disappointed because of how petty the majority of these people were. These people were bullies. They would target individuals who would ask just the simplest questions. What I am doing, I am targeting those angry, self-centered, insecure bullies. That's who I'm going after. I'm going after the bullies. If people are new to this path, they're welcome into the sect. That's what this, like I was saying, that's why I started this organization. I wanted a place where people could go where they're not going to get reamed up the a-hole for asking a simple question. And that's what was happening on some of these other forums and groups and so on and so forth. I wanted to, At the same time, I'm not coddling anyone by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm willing to listen and give some advice, if you will. This isn't about creating black sheep, dark sheep, whatever you want to refer to them as. This is about letting people know that there is more to this path, much more to this path than simply the Hail Satans. Do you know what I mean? There's much more than just being angry, rebellious. Sure, it begins with rebellion. It always, for all of us, it began with rebellion. But there's much more to it than rebellion. It's about you becoming the highest person you could possibly be by working your way downward, if you will, down into the deep reaches of the psyche, into the darkness, coming to terms with the darkness. That's what it's all about, coming to terms with the darkness. And you're not coming to terms with the darkness if you're wallowing in it and you're screaming and yelling and you're putting people down. All right? I am targeting the bullies, not the beginners, not the newbies. All right? Everyone, anyone who is willing to learn is welcome within the sect of the Horn God. But if you're a petty little shit bully, I'm going to come after you. All right. In conclusion, my friends, I hope I answered those questions adequately. And if you have any more, leave them in the comments down below. I'll try to get to them, but there's no guarantee I'm going to get to all of them. Like I said, I'm a busy man. All right. But I appreciate all of your opinions. I appreciate the fact that the vast majority of you are very cordial, respectful, because like I like to say, never forget that the devil is a gentleman. Until next time, my friends.